Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss about a story in Footprints Without Feet. That is a book in Standard 10. And third lesson of this book is The Midnight Visitor, written by Robert Arthur. Robert Arthur is a writer of detective stories like Arthur Conan Doyle. So he has also written this story on the basis of detective themes. Let us see just what happens in the story. First, actually there are three parts of a story. One is plot, and then is character, and then setting. We will have when we are just reading a story, we will have to keep in our mind these three elements of a story. Plot, that is very important part of the story, characters, and then the setting. See what just these three elements, how just they are used in this story. Plot is the sequence of events. We will see what those events are and how the sequence of events are in this story. We will see later. Now understand the characters in this story. There are three important characters in this story. The main character is Oswald, who is a detective. Next is Fowler, who is a young writer. And then another character is Max, who is also a detective. But here in this story we shall see that he is rival of Oswald. So these are the three characters taking part in this story. Now come to the setting of this story. The setting of this story is a hotel in Paris. This is where setting means where the actions are going to take place, where the incidents happen. That is called setting. Now, just we shall start for better understanding. First, we should come to know about the characteristics of a detective, because this is a detective story. There is a spy or detective whose name is Oswald. Here, the main character. So, what we just expect about a detective? About his physical personality, physical appearance. Generally, when we read the stories or the novels, we find the detectives are just the people who are almost tall in height and very smart and very sharp, very intelligent, very active, very fast. These are the various characteristics, the components we see in or we expect in a detective. Because when we read such stories, detective stories, we find the detective. When we read Arthur Conan Doyle's story, we find the detective's personality, physical appearance like this. But here, something is different here in this story. Actually, Oswald, who is a detective, does not fit to the description of a normal detective that is expected, that is thought about, or that the people expect. He does not fit in the description of a detective because his height is not very tall, he is of short height, he is fat, he is lazy, he is not fast. Means the physical appearance does not suit to a detective. So what happens in this story? Now come to the sequence, and I will tell you just a plot where we come to see the sequence of the events here in this story. So let us come to the sequence of events, how this story, because in a story there is a beginning, there is a middle or climax, and there is an end of the story. Detective stories are full of suspense. The plot of detective stories are generally full of thrill, suspense, excitement, curiosity. All these are the elements which are found in detective. You have always the excitement to know what is going to happen next, and how just a strange situation occurs, and how the person who is present there, how he is going to face that situation. This sorts of thrill there is in mind when you are reading a detective story. The same thing happens here in this story also. What happens actually? Fowler is a young writer. He lives stories for the various publications. He writes novels, he writes stories. So Fowler is, who is a young writer, he comes to meet Ausable one day in his hotel that is in Paris. So he comes with the expectation that he will get some adventurous part while living with Ausable to frame his story, to make a new story for himself. So he comes to meet Ausable. He came to know that Ausable is a detective. So he came to meet him so that he will find just some plot of his story. But when he came and just met Ausable, he was disappointed. He was disappointed because of the physical appearance, physical personality of Ausable. As I told you, Ausable is fat, of a short height, not looking very fast, looking very lazy. So Fowler is not happy to meet this detective who does not suit to the description of a detective that one normally expects of. So he spends his time living with Ausable, and spending time he does not find any plot of his story for himself. And when it becomes just night, he just goes with Ausable to his room that is on the 6th floor of a Paris hotel. Till then he finds himself very disappointed. Actually here he talking about an important paper that is to come to him that night. So he is to receive that important paper that is regarding some new missiles. So Fowler is with him, he is accompanying Ausable. So when Ausable and Fowler enter the room that is on the 6th floor of the hotel, when they entered and when he switched on the light, Ausable found a man is there standing with a gun pointing towards them. And that man is Max. And Ausable knows Max. So Ausable asked, "What are you doing, Max? You should have been in Berlin this time. What are you doing here?" Seeing Max with a pistol in his hand, Ausable is not frightened, not a bit frightened, very just in a very leisurely manner he asks, "What are you doing here? You should have been there this time in Berlin." Max says, "I am here to get that report that is to come to you tonight. I will take that report because that report will be safer in my hand. So I will just capture the report, and that is why I am here." His pistol pointing towards them. Ausable, not being frightened, easily goes and just sits on the sofa. Fowler is standing, and Max just threatens Fowler and asks him to go and sit. Ausable says that Max says that I will be waiting for half an hour, just no doubt, because your report is to come there. Ausable said, "Okay, it will take 30 minutes or 31 minutes for the report to come." But Just I am surprised that why this is happening. Just now Osible, see how witty he is and how he just making application of his intelligence and common sense here. Because this is a very, very strange, abnormal situation. A man with a gun, with a pistol in his hand is there to frighten them. And it's almost captured them. Osible takes it in a very normal way and he just fabricates a story. He just an imaginary story. He makes to befool Max so that Max will fall in the trap of his story. Osible says that it has happened twice that a man has entered my room. Actually, he gives a detailed description of how there are two adjacent rooms just beside his room and some rooms below, and how the balcony has just extended to his window, to the window of his room, and using that balcony, just in this month, in the same month, a person had come through the window to his room, and it has happened the second time that a man has come here. I said, if there was a balcony, I could have used that. And I would have less trouble in just coming through the balcony and through the window in the room. But I have not used the balcony. I came through the door using the pass key I used, and I just entered the room. So I did not know anything about balcony. But he goes on making such a detailed description of that imaginary balcony, you can say virtual balcony, fabricates in his mind, and Max believes in that non-existent balcony. Osible, when he believes in that, Osible, and that time, what happens? Somebody is knocking at the door. Osible, then Max asks, who is knocking there? Osible says, actually, they are the policemen who have come here to protect me because an important document has to come to me. So I had asked police to come and give me security. So the policemen are there. So he will have trouble because the policemen are there and the door is opened. Even if I do not go and just open the door, they will enter themselves. And the fact is that they are not policemen. They are actually where there is a waiter who is just knocking at the door. Because he asked the waiter to come with wine bottle just because he will take wine. So, but he says that policemen are there and they will enter the room anytime. So the policemen at the door, and that is actually also non-existent. They are only to befool Max. And there is the story of the virtual balcony under the just window of that room. So here is Max, in order to save himself from the police, because police might shoot him, might arrest him. That is why he says to Osible that I am going to the balcony, there I shall be waiting for you, and when the policeman will go, again just I will come and take the report. So in a hurry, he just goes towards the window, and just holding the window sill makes a jump outside the window so that he would be on the balcony. But actually the fact is that there is no balcony. And that is the 6th floor, you can understand, of the hotel. And because there is no balcony, he makes a jump, he falls down, and there is a sound that comes, just sticking sound, and that is the sound of his death. Means he died. He fell on the ground and he died. Then the waiter comes and with a glass, the tray, glass and wine bottle. And then father asks, Fowler is just very much astonished to see all these things, what is happening there. And he's frightened also, and he's also excited to think that he's going to have a story also. If he's not killed or if his life is saved, surely he's going to have a very exciting story from the incident that is happening here in the room. So Fowler says, but you said the policemen are there at the door, but he said there is no policeman. This was just to befall Max. And then Fowler asked, what about the balcony? Because he will be on balcony, he will come anytime. Fowler said, there is no balcony also. That was just an imaginary story of the balcony. And in this way, the story ends, and Fowler, just as a result, gets a very exciting plot for his story. The story that he will write for a book or just a story that he will write in the novel, he gets a very, very exciting plot for his story. In this way, just we understand that then Fowler realizes that what he had heard about Ausable, he realizes the mistake that about his conception of a detective that was in his mind, and that is a normal description of a detective. For Ausable, first he was very disappointed to see his physical appearance, but here, just observing all these happenings here, and his common sense, his wit, his intelligence, Fowler now just comes to understand that what he had imagined just about Ausable, that is, he was on a actually wrong thing, because a detective, even though he is not looking very smart, even though he is not looking very, very fast, his appearance is not very impressive, but he can be very impressive in his action. He can be very witty, and see how just smartly he outsmart Max Ausable, how just intelligently outsmarts Max in this play of just receiving that important document that is to be seen in this story. So Ausable is a character here, a very important character. He's a man with wit, he's a man with common sense, and he's a man with intelligence, and how brilliantly he does, just because detective means you will have in a strange situation. How just fast you think, because you have no time to make a plan. There just you will have to at the spur of the moment you will have to think everything and have to act, so that you can just defeat the person who is just before you, who has come here to just outsmart you. So Ausable very successfully, he just defeats Max, and Fowler is happy that he gets a very good plot for his story. So this story, the Midnight actually, and the Midnight Visitor, there is question also, who is actually the Midnight Visitor here in this story? The person who visits at midnight to do something, to act for something, is no other than Max, who is another detective rival of Ausable. Max is the Midnight Visitor in this story of Robert Arthur. So Robert Arthur, this story is very interesting for the students, and you will have to just once you go through the text of this story, you might have understood this analysis of the story that I have made here. And next time we shall go through the textual questions. I shall just analyze all the questions related to this story, The Midnight Visitor, so that it will be very easy for you to do your answers in the examinations that are to come just in the near future. Okay, thank you very much.